What kind of cabaret do you do?
We dress up in women's clothes and parade around mouthing the words to other people's songs.
The 1990s were a pivotal year for the LGBT community. The acceptance in films were normalized, the issue that bothered the community was addressed, and the gay characters were not just relegated to a John Peters movie. But most of this progress was done in the Hollywood setting and in the US. So when a small indie-style movie that came out of Australia of all places and dealt with the same issues came out, everyone were blown away. But does that make the movie any good? Let's find out. I'm Meffistoe. Like, share, and subscribe because this is my review of the movies The Adventures of
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert is a road trip comedy drama written and directed by Stephen Elliott. The origins of this film are as bizarre and fantastic as the film itself. Elliott wrote a script in about 10 days while he was waiting for a call from Phil Collins about his participation in a different film that Elliott was making at the time, called Frauds. The script was based on the lives of 3 real-life drag queens with full intentions of having them play essentially themselves. But like most LGBT movies, it attracted controversy, but not in the way you think. Once the movie got the backing of a bigger budget, Elliott decided to pick up established actors, and once the roster was filled, the community, most probably the activists, were outraged that 3 straight men with no drag experience are taking the jobs of established drag queens. Of course, like most protests of the era, activists, no matter what side of the aisle they're on, are most likely set up to eat their own words, but this is only if the movie is good.
Sorry.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert introduces us to Mitzi Delbray and Felicia Jolly Goodfellow, great names by the way, who work at a drag club in Sydney, Australia. Mitzi receives a phone call from his wife with an offer. Come down to Alice Springs and put on a drag show for a few weeks and then reconnect with your son that you barely know.
4 weeks. Equity minimum, 2 shows a night, accommodation included.
Mitzi is hesitant, but after the death of his friend's Bernadette partner, he decides it's a good idea to get out of the city and bring some glam and glitter to the outback.
Oh, for goodness sakes, look at yourself, Mitz. How many times do I have to tell you green is not your colour?
Mitzi, Felicia, and Bernadette hop on an old rickety bus dubbed Priscilla to drive to Alice Springs through the outback of Australia with the full knowledge that their kind of people are not welcomed.
Could I please have a stop?
No! You can't have nothing. We've got nothing here for people like you.
The trio get into social trouble, mechanical trouble, and even fight amongst themselves, but every time something goes wrong, they always have drag to fall back on until they reach their destination.
We've only recently discovered young Anthony here bats for both teams.
I do not. Oh, so we're straight.
No.
In my intro, I mentioned John Peters. Back when I was a teenager, I consumed a metric ton of movies via cable. I watched some of his movies in odd hours of the night, and they all felt like experimental and weird. The most commercial of them all, even though it was a flop, was Crybaby starring Johnny Depp. Now, what does that have to do with this movie? Well, when this movie came out, I wasn't really interested in it. I thought it was just another experimental movie, and I gave it a pass. 2 years after it came out, I happened to flip through the channels, and there it was. And the thing that grabbed me was the music, specifically I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. By that time, I knew what drag queens were, and although it wasn't really my cup of tea, I really enjoyed the music. You have to realize, when I grew up as a child, my parents had an extensive record collection, and my memories in the house or in the car was filled with music from various artists. And suddenly, here they are playing in the background of this movie while telling a story about problems that I will never experience.
I can only fight because I've learned to. Being a man one day and a woman the next is not an easy thing to do.
The movie itself rests on the shoulders of 3 great actors. Hugo Weaving, playing Tick, or Mitzi, is the linchpin of this group. Tick is torn between his desire to reconnect with his son and put on a great show, but he also battles the secrets that he has to reveal, his homosexuality to his son, and the fact that he is actually married and has a kid to his road trip compatriots, who consider this type of lifestyle almost taboo. He is the proverbial straight man to the other two friends' craziness, but Weaving does such an excellent job of portraying this everyday gay man who just happens to love dressing up like a woman and lip sync to songs.
You know, there are two things I don't like about you, Felicia. Your face. So how about shutting both of them?
On the other side of the spectrum is Guy Pearce playing Adam, or Felicia. Adam is the most flamboyant gay man you'll ever see. Well, maybe not the most, but certainly on that particular bus. He loves the nightlife, drugs, and getting laid. He is such a stereotypical gay man, it is downright insane. But within this group, he serves as the comic relief, and within that role, Pearce just thrives. He has the most fun character to play, and he revels in it. Plus, it's a joy to see him act.
A desert holiday, let's pack the drag away. You take the lunch and tea, I'll take the ecstasy.
To complete this trio is the magnificent Terrence Stamp. He plays Bernadette, a trans woman who just lost her love and feels lost with no direction. Stamp manages to capture all the emotions and the troubles of a woman trapped in a man's body, having woman issues and come off so genuine and real. And in this non-serious movie, he is the most serious and the most real character. And Stamp's performance in this movie is just mwah, chef's kiss.
I can't just sit around here crying all the time. Jesus. My mascara keeps running. I look like a raccoon.
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert is a road trip comedy filled with really funny, hilarious situations that people on the road get into. A bus being stuck, meeting odd people, and the help you get along the way. But you also meet local hicks in a redneck town that really showcase how Australia really is. And all of that is mixed with the dynamic of being gay men and drag queens to boot, trying desperately to be accepted in a world that is just not quite ready to be accepting. But the movie isn't really down and dire like in Philadelphia, nor is it super cheerful and happy like The Birdcage. It is much more grounded and real, despite the momentary stops to perform a drag act or two. Within these three men, well, two men and one trans woman, we see all facets of the gay community represented. Tick is the introverted gay man, Adam is the extroverted one, and Bernadette, the eccentric, the odd man out, yet very much a part of everything. The movie is full of heart, it is very entertaining, and it has a great soundtrack. So I will happily recommend you pick this one to watch, even if you're not into drag queens or gay people in the 90s. Besides, you don't want to miss the ping pong scene. And if you know, you know. And just to sum up my review, I let the incredible Terrence Stamp summarize this movie in just one sentence.
That's just what this country needs. A cock in a frock on a rock.
I thank you for watching, and remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.